Our next speaker came into the world with a world view. Dr. Kohn was born in Frankfurt, Germany, of a career Air Force family. Shortly, they moved to Tokyo, Japan, where many of her ideals for life were formed. Patricia graduated high school in Durango, Colorado, and attended college there, focused on human biology and medical technology, initially wanting to pursue a medical career. Realizing the medical profession was not focused on health, she left college as AT&T recruited her. During the same time, Dr. Kohn sought training in yoga, meditation, and brain research while looking after her baby as a single mom. Leaving AT&T as an executive, she was recruited to work in venture capital banking for Mellon Bank as a part of the World Bank. Later, she formed her own bank in Phoenix, Arizona. But the tragedies of 9/11 changed Patricia's focus from the world of money toward the hope to find peace through research and learning in the brain. So in 2002, she formed Starshine Academy, K-12 charter schools, to prove how and what we learn determines a person's success. In 2008, she was knighted as a dame in the Sovereign Order of Knights Hospitaller, easy for you to say. She'll tell you, one of the oldest humanitarian organizations in the world. In 2014, she was given the Human Rights Award by Church Women United of the United Nations. In 2016, Dr. Kohn was named a Fellow of St. George's College at Windsor Castle, England. She is a best-selling author, speaker, and researcher. She has made presentations for the International Space Conference, the United Nations, and Windsor Castle. She received her PhD from the University of Sedona this past March in conscious business ethics. Her dissertation is entitled Energy Medicine, the Pineal Gland, the Seat of the Soul, and Conscious Business. Her company, Starshine, is a leader in global education. Please welcome Dr. Patricia Kohn.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. No, hospitaller.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next.
Hospitaller. It's where the word hospital originally came from. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know about coming up behind Nicholas and Damali. They knocked my socks off, and so have all the other speakers. I've learned so much. I mean, there is so much collective wisdom in this room that it's kind of humbling to be up here. I mean, I listen to the work on the DNA, and all I want to do is go spend the rest of the day with her. So today we're going to talk about business ethics and also how to transform your business from the old way to the new way. There's a whole new thing happening, and we're all feeling it. We all know it. But it definitely is going to impact your business and K-12 and college education. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of things going on to support it. These are my feet, and they are in the creek right behind this hotel. And one of the things that I learned a long time ago is when I am out of balance, go into the forest. In my case, I really like water, so if I can get into a river or a lake or an ocean, put my feet in and do some meditating, I feel better, I feel more grounded, and then I can go and negotiate all of the various things that I need to negotiate. I forgot to test this, so hopefully I can do it. Yay! So I don't know, how many of you listen to Joel Osteen? I love him. I mean, he is so positive, and he takes so many different views and puts them out to people and really gives people a lot of hope. I want to do a little experiment with you for a minute. If everybody will stand up. And we're going to get up on our toes, take a deep breath in, and your balance is in your belly button. So inhale, reach up, try to touch the ceiling, get up on your tippy toes, and then exhale all the way down into prayer pose. So I know you guys all know how to teach all this stuff, but we're going to play together. All right, inhale, and come all the way up on your tiptoes. reach, reach, reach higher than you thought. And then exhale back down to your prayer pose. And this last time, we're going to inhale as deep as we can, and we're going to drop our feet as hard as they can and feel all those pricklies on the bottom of your feet. Now we're going to bring our hands into prayer pose. Get both feet flat on the ground as strong as you can. Feel the energy just coming up right from the earth on the bottom of your feet. We're going to shift our weight over to one side. Tighten your belly button. Lift your foot up when you don't need it, and hold and just breathe. And now we're going to come back over to the other side, shift your weight, and bring your foot up, and just breathe. Okay, everybody sit down. We just did a whole bunch of neuroplastic exercises. I don't have time to go into all that we did, but I usually start my talks like that because if you can just sit for 1 minute and feel the energy shift in the room. It's not only shifted in your own body, but it's shifted all over the whole room. When you balance on your one foot, it stops anger. So my ex-husband, I used to make him do that all the time. It obviously didn't work. But anyway, Joel Osteen has a saying that I love after he tells his jokes, which really is my favorite part of his talk. But he has a saying that I use all the time, and that is trouble is transportation. So we've all had enough trouble to, fill up this room. And we can all talk about the drama of what that caused and how bad it felt and all of that. But if we instead tell ourselves, that trouble was transportation. So it didn't feel very good when I was 17 and pregnant. And when my high school counselor said, well, there's not a lot you can do because all your test scores sound like you're a guy, and so they don't have girls' jobs like that. And he said, you better do what you can to just take care of your baby that you're going to have. So that was my first attaboy that I got to hear. This is who I am. We're a combination of everything that we are, and I'm going to go through that theme and how that relates to the people that work for you. But I love this picture of me because it really depicts who I am. I was born a couple of days after Christmas, which I really like, but I always demand a party. Like, people are not going to get away with just one party at Christmas time. And I always dress up, and I really like standing up on a stage. So I started out like that. But luckily, God had a way with me and got me into yoga when I was 17. And at that time, people thought yoga was yogurt. So they were always asking me, well, what flavor do you like? And so I had a teacher that made me promise to teach the rest of my life. And at the time, 20 years old, you get certified, you go, yeah, okay. I had no idea what was going to happen in my career. And I had no idea about how metaphysical was going to ground me so that when I went to work for venture capital banking, nobody could sway me because I just knew who I was. I had my feet on the ground because of what? Metaphysics. So I had to figure out, okay, how do I not tell the yoga people that I actually make money? And how do I tell the millionaires, billionaires who are whining all the time that all they have to do is go take a yoga class? But I kept those parts of my life very separate for a really long time. This is my family. I think you guys might like just a collage of my kids, my grandkids. One of my daughters is running around here somewhere with her little dog. And I got married a year ago to a guy in Sedona. And I said, I always wanted to live in Sedona since the first time I came here as a teenager. And eventually I had to find somebody to marry so I could live up here. But I live part-time in Phoenix, and I still work a lot. We get a lot of words, and especially in corporate America, especially in our businesses, that are really demeaning words. And when we start to think about what we're listening to, and as I was opening these schools for a lot of high-risk kids, the thing that I wanted them to learn was standing on one foot and listen to what you're feeding yourself. It's not only what you're feeding yourself, non-organic food, that's going to dip your energy, But it's also, what are you feeding your mind? Are you listening to CNN? Because that's not going to do you any favors in life. If you're listening to negative people around you, you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, Marianne Williamson says, don't play small. But you're going to play small if that's all you listen to and if that's all you feed yourself. So this word drives me crazy. It's like the biggest, coolest word in corporate America right now, VUCA. And to me, it's a word that tells all of us we're victims. Be careful of VUCA in your business. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be uncertain. We have data doubling all the time. Yes, we do. We also have millionaires being formed every 6 seconds. That means money is spreading out. And a lot of the millionaires that I'm around are just like Nicholas. Wouldn't you want him to be a millionaire? I would. I would like him to be a billionaire because I know more guys like him or girls that get to be millionaire billionaires with those kinds of feet on the ground. They're going to help take care of me better than a few people that didn't have those kind of values. So watch these words. And when you're in an environment, especially in a business, all the business guys, they're all talking about this right now. And just say, you know what, I'm not a victim. This is all giving me better stuff to work with, not worse stuff to work with. So the rules are definitely different. I've got butterflies on each one of these slides because I really want you to think about transmutation. We are in a transmutation time. There is nobody in here that doesn't believe that. I know because we're studying in this school together, and it is the transformation of a school. But butterflies are very interesting. The DNA, and support me if I'm right, the DNA cannot be identified from the caterpillar to the butterfly. That's how much transformation occurs. And no scientist can figure it out. They're like, how can we not know this butterfly came from that cocoon or that caterpillar because the DNA is not doing anything? Did you already do 10? Oh, okay, thank you. So this was a great metaphor for me last year. My friend called me, thank you, and said, she's in Aspen, and that's her little lake, and she said, I want you to come and be a part of my birthday party and teach yoga on a paddleboard. I'm like, no, thank you. It sounds nice, but not me. And I thought, oh gosh, now how am I going to do this? You know, I've never stood on a paddleboard, let alone, you know, moved on a paddleboard. And it was a great metaphor because it really pushed me to go, what are my roots in yoga? Yoga is about standing on uncharted ground. And this is really where we all are right now. This is just get your feet where it is. Get your feet in God. God is going to give you what you need to stay stable and to be balanced. And I didn't fall off. So we're going to do a real quick meditation because I know all of you have done this, but we're going to do it anyway because I want to talk about it afterwards. So let's just close our eyes, bring your feet flat on the ground. Hands, I prefer up, but if you prefer down, that's okay. And I want you to take a deep breath in and just feel the rhythm of the room and try to feel how that works together. And then I want you to picture in your mind a big bowl of lemons right in front of you. They've just been picked, fresh. You can almost smell the leaves. And now I want you to pick one of them up, and I want you to feel the skin on that lemon. And as you bring it closer to you, I want you to bring it up by your nose and just smell that beautiful, fresh, lemony smell that comes especially when you first have a really, really new lemon. And now I want you to take a deep bite out of that lemon, and I want you to start chewing that bite. And I want you to even let the juice run down your face. I want you to chew it up, and then I want you to swallow it. Now I want you to put the lemon back in the bowl, and I want you to think about bringing all that energy down in and around your belly button. And in and around your belly button, I want you to start feeling sparkling energy that came from that energy that was in your mouth. And in that sparkling energy, I want you to think about the happiest thing that makes you smile. I mean, without a doubt, when you think of it, you smile. And I want you to power that up with electrical energy around your belly button. And now I want you to form a cocoon around your body of this electrical energy. It's just laughter energy. And I want you to feel it combine with all the energy in this room. I want you to just fill the room up with this electrical, sparkling energy. And now we're going to just zoom it right into outer space. All of us together right into outer space, and we're going to zoom it back to the earth. And now as we're in outer space, we're going to pull it back into our bodies, and we're going to just gently come right back into this room, right back where we're seated. We're going to notice our breath, and then we're going to come back in to the room, eyes open. We have done these kinds of exercises so many times in our lives, but do we really live by it? So I know, did anybody not feel their mouth burst out with saliva when you were chewing up the lemon? That is how powerful our brain is, and I don't care how long I've been teaching yoga or meditation, I still forget, wow, my thoughts are things, and they're determining my future. And I've got to watch what I'm thinking. So in the last 17 years, I was opening schools for high-risk kids all over the world. Liberia, Sudan, Phoenix, you name it, I was there. And I was training teachers, and thank you for your work, by the way. You're right on it. We have not been preparing anybody in K-12 or college for life. We haven't been doing it. I can now have the PhD to prove it. Thank you very much. So I still have a few minutes. She's giving me 5, and I want to make sure I'm done on time. Anyway, I felt like I was in the mud. I was in public education. It was hard. It was cold. They weren't respecting the teachers. They weren't respecting the kids, and they weren't giving them what they needed, which was financial literacy, which is the #1 fear, rich or poor, and just really basic life skills. But I found that I was growing my roots there, and I found that lotus has to grow in the mud before it can become a lotus. So in Maslow's hierarchy, financial security, just security is the #1 thing. But our brains do not work to be our friends. So our brains are trying to repeat yesterday, even if it was bad news. We are chaotic. This is a part of nature. This is part of God. Chaos and order is a quantum theory, but it is chaotic, and everything is going to right itself. So what you're seeing right now in the world is a righting of nature, and lots of reasons why, but that's what's going on. So when we talk about resilience, get that word out of your mouth. Get the word tolerance out of your mouth, because it depicts something wrong. And there's nothing wrong if you transmute it to, how does this work for me? So you've got some magnets really, really fast on your, that we just handed out. Those are refrigerator magnets, but really quick, magnets can erase memory in your brain. Now, I know you don't believe that, but just look it up. So there is a lot of new science about magnets erasing memory, and what you can do with those, not only memorize the front of them for yourself and for people around you, but when you take that little magnet and you have a bad idea, you can take it just like you do a credit card. Credit card magnet or credit card strips were made because of how your brain pulls in energy and information in your DNA, right? And the magnets actually start to erase that memory. So when you have a bad thought, put it from your nose down to the back of your neck, and just do it for 3 or 4 times and do it all day. I don't go anywhere without a magnet anymore. If you want these, I'll send them to you. Just let me know, or go to starshine.us and tell me that you want that list. I have a whole list of things that you can do very fast to change your life today. And If you think about every single thing, all your past, all that's now, the smells, the food that you eat, if you're not eating mostly organic, fresh, raw, you're giving yourself a disservice because that is going to feed your energy. So connect, not convince is something when you are convincing, you're in fear and you've already lost the battle, especially with high-risk kids. You cannot tell them not to do something. You have to get them to connect to you, and I've heard that theme in here, but it is very serious if you're trying to get ahead. So world peace depends on us, by ourselves. This is so perfect for me because I always wanted to change the world. But through this school, University of Sedona and University of Metaphysics, I learned that the only difference that I can make is to make me a little bit better than I was yesterday, and your brain is not going to help you. Only your spirit is going to help you. Your spirit guides you to bigger and better. That's God. That is Fibonacci. Your brain says, no, 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 I don't know how to do that. I'm going to be in fear. You've got to come back here, and we've got to relive cancer because I know I can survive that. So don't trust your brain. Trust your soul. Thank you very much.